I take this opportunity to do a story which started pre-independence. And what I'm trying to root into this story are three important messages. One, being in the financial services, we always say that there is a dinosaur called inflation, and there is the eighth wonder of world, which is compounding. And while I go through this 8-decade journey, you will realize the power of compounding of equity and wealth. You will also see that across decades, how and what makes it a lasting organization. And as you know, when we started in 44, there was no index. There was no Sensex, there was no Nifty, and we were mired with just the pre-independence struggle and finally got independent. And it's around that the name Prabhudas Lilladher, Mr. Prabhudas Sheth, founded Prabhudas Lilladher. And it started as a line between Bombay and Calcutta for people to get their money. It started in 100 square foot office. The most important thing with his founding principle was, if I manage clients' money, I can't do in the same book proprietary trades, and because of which clients' money are always safe. And trust me, for 8 decades, we have followed that principle relentlessly. As we went into the 50s, some of you might have heard this Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai, and then the war following with China. What we did during that period is that one very important thing, Prabhudas Lilladher Group has not advertised in either of the TV print media ever. But while taking over this company, I had hired a very #1 research company in India. And what they found out through their 360-degree is that this name is most respected and trusted. One of the reasons being, way back in 50s, whenever the spreads used to go up, normally people will put more money, will ask clients to put more money because they'll easily give it. Prabhudas Bhai used to give back money to the clients and say, stay refrain, we will then again invest at the right time. And that's how, just now somebody came to me, said that this is his 3rd generation which is attached with me, and their life with PL is longer than mine. They are with us for 70 years. And then starts this decade when, of course, we actually saw the Sino-Indian War. We saw war with Pakistan. And while all that was happening, with the foresight of Prabhudas Bhai, which started that time with a telex machine to communicate electronically. And as we move ahead, we once again continued to see, as you know, the FERA changes, the recession globally, and the oil price rise. During this entire time, an Indian emergency, we pioneered, first time, the research in India. And before that, how does the thought come? Because those days, Prabhudas Lilladher Sheth traveled to US to understand what is the difference in how US market works, how Indian market works. And basis that, he advised the then chairman of BSE, and Dhiren Bhai can
Hello.
say it much better than me, and I'll invite him.
Hello. Yeah. Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. My father was a very progressive person, and he would love to adopt a new style of business and new technologies. He went to USA in the year 1972 and studied the stock exchanges in NYSE there. And on his return to India, he advised the then late Sri Jijuboy, chairman of the BSE, that what are the ways they are doing business and what principles we should adopt in our exchange. He was, as I said, very progressive person. In the earlier slide, we saw a telex machine. That telex machine used to give a continuous connectivity to our Mumbai Calcutta business, and in any arbitrage business, the real-time price information is the key, and telex machine helped him doing so and gave him a competitive advantage. Arun Sheth, my elder brother, who joined the business, he entered at the right time when the equity cult was getting developed in India. That was a time when a lot of companies went public, and with Ferra dilution, a lot of new investors came into the market, and that is where he saw a potential that we have to do a more research-oriented business rather than a simple advisory business. He opened a branch in Pune in 1977, and thereafter, in next 3 years, we had branches in 4 places in India. So it was a lucky that he entered at the right time.
Not to forget, very important point here. It's the beginning of 80s decade, and Sensex level was 148. And today we are celebrating 80,000 of Sensex. That's the power of compounding that I was talking about. There is one more very interesting thing. I'm sure Dhiren Bhai will elaborate, but Prabhudas Lilladher was the first to get computer. Those days, we invested 2.5 lakh rupees, which is equivalent to 1.35 crores in one computer on one person who's a BITS Pilani engineer. So you try out something new.
I am always grateful to my father for depositing confidence in me. He was always encouraging to adopt new technology, as I said. And it was really nice of him to let me lay my hands on the new technology that was about to evolve in India. And I never disappointed him. And within first year only, we were totally computerized with trade processing and with the financial accounting. That was the time in 1982.
As we move ahead, we were the first to start computerized charting. And in the following decade, as the foreign multinationals started entering Morgan Stanleys of the world, it was Prabhudas Lilladher who was ready to provide them with the charts across stocks, the one and only organization.
The charts gave definitely a competitive advantage to PL over other brokers who were servicing institutional business. And chart not only plotted the price movement, but also technical indicators like moving averages, incorporating stock splits event as well. So it was a very good tool for the fund managers to take a timely decision of when to exit or when to enter a particular stock. So this was a very path-breaking thing because no other broking house had such technology. This was, I'm talking about 1986, we first printed the technical chart.
And that technical analysis was followed by fundamental research on the street As you can see, these are some of the early fundamental research reports by the House of Prabhudas Lilladher. And it is the vision of Prabhudas Lilladher Sheth after visiting US, which he shared with Mr. Gigi Bhoy. The committee was formed to convert the outcry system to Bolt system, that is computerized trading, and Mr. Dhiren Sheth was the pioneering member of that committee and instrumental member to convert the entire outcry system into the Bolt, which all of us are using today, and which is one of the key steps for spreading the equity culture in India.
I would like to just add one more thing here. It was quite a challenge to make all the brokers accept the computerized trading because there were diverse nature of brokers. Some were jobbers and some were investor brokers. Yet we managed to develop a system whereby interest of both the parties were taken care by giving priority to the jobbing orders. This system lasted for a few years and then the entire order-based system was developed. And to tell you one more thing, within a span of 3 months, in March 95 we went live. By 30th June, entire 6,000 stocks were moved from outcry to trading system on the Bolt.
And a very important point also I would like to tell you all here, that Prabhudas Lilladher was the pioneer who, despite all possible resistance, started a system of giving confirmation stroke printed contract where the price of the stock and the brokerage was shown separately and distinctly, avoiding and abolishing all the kinds of, the typical word is gala in between. So that is how we say that we take pride in being transparent with any and every client whom we work with.
When we approached the exchange to permit us to do this, they refused by giving a flimsy excuse that the contract format does not provide for this type of information to be printed. So we found a workaround. We printed a contract with a perforation, and on the right side we gave the detail of the market rate. So we wanted to be transparent. There was nothing to hide.
As we move ahead, we faced many challenges. Because of our computerized system, transparency, and the trust that clients repose, we were managing highest Badla book of almost 240 crores in India that time. I think we were almost...
Yeah, we are the leaders.
We were the leaders.
We were the leaders.
And because of the changes which happened, and also a few crises in the market, the well-known crisis, the Indian exchanges shifted from forward trading to future trading. And mark my words, with post-dated checks issued on Saturday for Monday, it was only one broking house, Prabhudas Lilladher, who returned entire 240 crores. And it was that crisis when most of the leading brokers collapsed. So I take extremely proud in saying that our principles of doing what we say and saying what we do saved us completely and kept us respectful with our clients. We didn't give money to other exchanges where the money can be at risk. Similarly, when the entire commodity crisis happened under NSCL, you all won't know, we never took that membership only because it was not a recognized exchange. We cannot risk our clients' money. Mind you, whenever we take such decisions, it impacts our income, it impacts our growth, but we stick to our principles. This is the time when the Badla income had collapsed and we had to resurrect ourselves that myself and my colleague Dilip Bhatt were very lucky to join Prabhudas Lilladher Group. We were completely from research background, corporate background, and we were given complete free hand to develop the entire capital market business.
In hindsight, I think that was the best decision we took to put them on the board.
And it is during this period that with our, those days also I conducted the first institutional conference in India where all listed banks, private and public, chairmen were present, my entire institutional clients were present. And since then, the banking stocks which were at the bottom post the crisis started doing so well, enabling most of the banks to raise capital also. Similarly, when the entire power sectors were opening up, we did that. All this together started leading us to a huge growth. And I'm very happy and proud to say that at the bottom of 9/11 crisis, the business at PL, which I started managing, was just 1 crore. By 2008, it was a profit of 100 crores.
Just one more piece of information. As we saw in the first slide, that my father started an office with 100 square feet. I can still recollect when Amisha and Dilip joined our business, we gave them together a cabin of 50 square feet where both of them were sitting. And now she is where she is, you all know.
And with that kind of performance, Mr. Arun Sheth, and of course Dhiren Sheth, who's always with him, we got not only the board seat, but we also took the equity stake. We expanded the businesses into NBFC, merchant banking, and did almost 38 deals for corporates in India, raising money across a span of just 3 to 4 years. And as we move ahead, keep a watch. India's GDP, 919 billion, Sensex levels, 20,000, when we were already at 2010s. The crisis post in and around Lehman. And some of the work, started getting recognized, and I'm very humbled to receive the awards at the hand of many, including our current Home Minister. And we did many firsts during that time also, and started expanding our national network, crossed more than 1,000 partners, and quite a few of them are here with me today to celebrate with us. So keeping, as we stand today, close to a Sensex level of 80,000, keeping with the tradition of Prabhudas Lilladher Group to bring the best to our partners, to our clients, to our corporates, we have once again thought that how do we add value, and after my session, we will be able to see what is it which is path-breaking in India that we are doing. This is what we called from technical research to fundamental research, of course derivative research. We are now moving to quant research, which is where globally 35% of assets are managed, while in India it's just about 1%. As the group moved ahead, my chairman, the then chairman Arun Sheth, was almost 74, 75, and they all wanted to hang their boots. And knowing me, being me, I was thinking that if all of you want to sell, why not I become the buyer? But that was a real challenge. I had to have permissions from not only SEBI, BSE, NSE, IRDA, RBI, but also have to have the money to do this buyout. But fortunately for me, all the bankers who lend us such big line of credit agreed for one personal guarantee of a lady instead of personal guarantee of 4 people, 3 of men being men. So I take this opportunity to thank all of them who provided me that courage to do this takeover sometime in November 22. And I can't forget but mention that this is a people's business. The money is put not on plants, it's the people who service and bring money. And during this transition, my entire team remained with me. Not only seniors, juniors, but even the office boys, all of them continued to be with me. And that has been absolutely gratifying for me. And keeping with this tradition of 2020 onwards, as we want to do something new, as we said, we started our quant infrastructure setup. And the first fund we launched called Aqua, which takes, like water, the shape of the market, really proved that our investments in the young team of not only chartered accountants, CFAs, and economists, but rather Python developers, R developers, and machine learners really paid. We gave 76% return in year 1, which means an alpha of 40%. So index did less return than the alpha that we generated. And this is out of only top 300 stocks in India. There is no liquidity risk. There is no other risk that we carry with this. And all these years of our being stuck to our principles and our values were recognized when Jamnalal Bajaj Institute chose us for best fair business practices this year, along with the company of Nestle's and so on and so forth. As what I said, we have not yet been able to spend money in Economic Times for advertising, but Economic Times recognized as one of the best BFSI brands from India for 2 years in a 23 and 24. So this is testimony to our founding principles, which we want to continue to adhere day in, day out, creating value for our clients with sustainable wealth creation, adding value with our deep expertise. Even today, we boast one of the largest research team, and almost 30% plus of our costs go in research, adhering to our values of trust, transparency, and integrity. And in a time when the disruption through digital broking has started, brokerage is considered to be adding zero value on platforms. We have maintained from 2016 till 23 same yields. You can see that we've been gaining market share, and above all, our revenue per client is highest in the industry. This once again is testimony to our principles of adding value to our clients. The work which started by Shri Prabhudas Lilladher Sheth today spans over 17 branches, 1,300 franchisee partners across 200 cities, and my team of 500 plus. We serve almost 4,000 plus family offices, HNIs and ultra HNIs across India. And of course, we have more than 100, almost 125 institutional empanelments across India and globally. And we have relationships with more than 250 corporates. And you could see that despite his extremely busy schedule, the largest market cap company chose and invested time to come and honor us with their time. So as we move ahead, the 3 cornerstones of our journey will be wealth management, asset management, and capital markets. And I always say that this is not separate to each other. This entire effort of one PL is to service, be it corporate clients, institutional clients, HNI clients, or retail clients with the same trust, transparency, and integrity which the principles with which we are founded, and we want to go with that vision of one PL. We offer the multiple solutions under one roof. I just took away the slide with little speed, but this is managed by my team, including Mr. Sandeep Raichura, who's the executive director and also sits on my board, and the team with him. And some of the work which Vikram Kasat, he is our advisory head, does in the name of Beat is recognized across the street. We want to grow our asset management business aggressively. As a first step, as we said, we were the pioneer in quant-based infrastructure, started our multi-asset dynamic portfolio, which was the first PMS which was giving ability to put money across asset classes to protect in the downturn and perform in the upturn. We then started Aqua. Now we have our dollar fund for our NRI and FII clients. We have just applied for our AIF for performing credit. And our desire is to be the only quant-based mutual fund in India. So we'll be soon applying for our mutual fund license. I'm sure in the next session you will know why this holds a lot of promise and why that is the need of the hour. This asset management business is chaired by Dr. Punita Kumar Sinha, who was just with us, and she's a very, very distinguished personality, being on the board of so many tier 1 corporates, including Infosys, Tata Group, Mahindra Group, and above all, being my client, she's my very close guide, mentor, and friend. And she's being supported by Siddharth and the entire team. Siddharth, in turn, is being supported by everybody is between 24 and 25, and it is that team which is creating this miracle of getting above normal returns with systematic investments. We also have our capital market business, which we have strengthened substantially. And Rohan is, of course, part of my team, but we did substantial improvement in ranking. And this is supported by my able team. People like Uday Bhai, Nipun, and Radha come with the experience of having handled more than 200 IPOs, while Ajay, Mahek, and others come of some of the large corporate M&A transactions experience. Kenin comes with unwavering passion to head my institutional business, while my research team and my sales trading team once again bring that complete trustworthiness. I cannot ask my team to do research or initiate research on any stock. It is absolutely their prerogative to put the quality filters and then decide. And same, nowhere in the market you would have heard that so-and-so FII or domestic did so-and-so transaction with PL, because it's my sales trading team which makes sure that there is no leakage of information. And guys, please keep on doing that great work. I want more votes. I want more ranking. And as what I said, I deserve to be number 1, nothing below that. Bring that, but following the right principles. Let the road be a little more harder. I don't mind. Something which nobody can take from me is perseverance. I don't accept no in my life. So you all also don't accept service. Get the best from the client. My able team is supported at the board level by Mr. Rajiv Dalal, who comes with transaction advisory head experience of more than 100 plus transactions, Dr. Punita Kumar Sinha and Mr. Vimal Jain. Also, I have elevated some of my core team as part of my board. And the entire effort of my frontline team is supported by my able team, which is committed. Most of them are with me for more than a decade or two, and they continue to perform day in, day out. Thank you so much, guys. Very quickly, I'll tell you, when the markets are rising and the flows are growing, most of us continue to believe, is it over? Are we at the top? So on. While India is the fastest growing country in the world, still more than 64% of assets are into physical form. And only 11% of Indians have a demat account compared to 65% in US. So it's a long, long way to go for India in terms of financializing their assets. And as we pass that journey, we see that the AUMs of mutual funds and PMS is growing substantially. And this was a dream. Some few years back, if we would have spoken about this kind of figures, people would have said, are you going crazy? But with that, India is hugely underpenetrated. Our mutual fund industry as a percentage of GDP is just 29%, and US is at 117%. Trust me, we will not take so long to reach there with the kind of technology initiative, digital infrastructure, and reach that we all have created now. And with this transformation which is happening in India, one of the key reasons for me to take this challenge in my life, instead of hanging boots with others, to take up this organization, because I believed absolutely and thoroughly in India's story. And I believe that this is our golden decade when many and most of us will step up in terms of our wealth in lives, and services from people like us will be so much more required. With that, I'll just take one last minute to briefly touch upon the strategy that we are creating to service different part of India. There is, as you know, out of 140 crore, 35,000 households who qualify as ultra HNI families. Now, these ultra HNI family offices have their own fund managers, and they also have their rigor in terms of investing. And so to that segment, we do not want to go with anything me too. We want to go with our own proprietary products and service. In the process, bring something good for them and earn something good for ourselves. That market is most competitive. They do every investments direct. So we want to go with non-discretionary PMS, quant PMS, and our AIF offerings. The largest pool is the HNI affluent and emerging affluent, which is likely to grow substantially. And it is there that we service with our nationwide network of branch and partners. And we continue to be not only digital, but phygital. And we still, and our numbers show that that phygital approach has its value, and our yields being very steady and constant. The mass market of India, we want to service with our mutual fund offerings in times to come and bring value to every Indian investor by dispassionate investments to quant strategies. So this will be the cornerstone of a complete financial service house, having asset management, wealth management, capital market as the three key pillars of our business. And this is, we want to continue our journey on our founding principles of trust, transparency, and integrity. With that, I end and invite Dhiren Bhai for his final comments.
I had made a remark during my earlier conversation that bringing them on board was the best decision that we made. Now you know why. I am so glad that the principles that we have set in and the trust that we have enjoyed from our investors is going to be continued under the able leadership of dynamic Amisha Vora. I call her a woman of substance. And I wish all the best to her for all her future endeavor and ensure that whatever credibility, reputation that we have built up over the decades will only grow stronger and better in times to come. Please give her a big hand.